boy TalonMasterJ here for week number 4 of BB Load Sheen, ladies and gentlemen. Right now we are sitting at 2-1 on the season, which is pretty good. We took our first loss last week to forget his team name off rip. I apologize to him, but it was Spider. I remember the coach. It was Spider. He had the Basque Legion, which I didn't even know got last respects, but it makes sense given that it's a dead salmon, so understandable there. We're sitting at 2-1, still in the thick of the early playoff picture, so if you guys are ready for more BB Load Sheen battles, ladies and gentlemen, leave a like on this video, comment down below what you think about our season to this point, and subscribe if you guys are brand new so we can get to one of our goals this year of 300 subscribers. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Had something caught in my throat there. But this week, ladies and gentlemen, our week 4 matchup is probably the scariest one on paper to me, because we're going up against Edster and his Melbourne Reshiram, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to have his team on screen right now so you guys can see his team, because right off rip, his top 3 mons are scary. He's got Primal Kyogre, he's got my boy Excadrill, and he's got a Mega Venusaur. He has 3 of the hardest hitting attackers and one of the biggest walls of Mega Evolutions in his top 3 picks. Now, I honestly have never battled a Primal Kyogre before. I have never battled one. I've battled with one in the Alpha Sapphire playthroughs and maybe in Sun and Moon, but I've never battled one that my opponent had. So all I know about this mon is it's scary, I can't use fire type moves, and it gets access to Water Spout, which I have to be massively ready for. As for Excadrill, if it comes, it's probably going to be one of his clerics to get rid of any rocks or spikes that I set up, because it does have access to Rapid Spin, and because this is a National Dex format, Rotom does have access to Defog, Togekiss does have access to Defog, so they're able to have that cleric move if need be as well. Weavile, very strong physical attacker. It was a well-given evolution when it happened in Gen 4. Still good today. Unfortunately, in Gen 9, it doesn't have access to Knockoff, but in this generation, it does have access to Knockoff. So, it can use Knockoff. Have to be careful about that. Azelf, very fast, of the Lake Trio, also is very strong on the physical or special side. Have to be careful. If it comes, I have to make sure I know which side is coming, because he could easily just put Stealth Rocks up and let Azelf go down. Or he could put Stealth Rocks up and then have Azelf set up. Togekiss, like I said, I mean, if it comes, it's probably going to be like one of those Flinch Kiss sets with the Thunder Wave and Air Slash to try to get the 60% Power Flinch chances, which, in all fairness, if that happens, I am screwed, because that combination can be very lethal in the right setting. Breloom, like, of all of his Pokemon, Breloom and Rhydon are probably, like, the least likely to come, because, I mean, at least in the case of Breloom, I've got a Mega Blaziken, I've got a Genesect, I've got a Skyman, I've got a Hisuian Braviary, I've got a Screamtail. It does not want to battle any of those 5, regardless of its Terra type, even though it can Terra into anything. And the same goes with Azelf, it can Terra into anything. And Hisuian Typhlosion, if you make it this far in the video, I'm going to leave question of the day. Which of the Hisuian starters was your favorite in Legends Arceus, and why was it your favorite? Me, personally, I thought Hisuian Typhlosion was the best design by far, but when it comes to the signature moves and their effects, Hisuian Decidueye will be other levels of cracked when it comes in. Because while Typhlosion's has a chance to burn and then has the bonus damage of Hex, and while Hisuian Samurot's does technically get boosted via Sharpness and leaves a layer of spikes depending on how many times you use it, Hisuian Decidueye is just insane. High critical hit ratio, 50% chance to drop your opponent's defense by 1 stage, and a 30% chance to flinch, all in the same turn, and this thing gets access to Scrappy, no less. So, you can't leave a Ghost type in front of it to try to use that move, because it'll just beat you. It is strong. But that's my take on the Hisuian Stars, and I would like to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. But, let's get into our team, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to talk about what I'm planning to bring for Edster. And we are going to start with our Mega Evolution. Eat More Chicken, the Blaziken. It's a standard set this week, 252, 252. And I didn't put the remaining 4 in anything. I could have probably put it in HP or something like that. But I'm running Adamant Nature with Protect, Knockoff, Close Combat, and Thunder Punch. Knockoff is there to maybe get rid of a helmet here or there. Close Combat, always 2-hit KOs a Rotom. Assuming, you know, I avoid the Hydro Pump, which would most likely come. And Thunder Punch is there for the Primal Ogre and the Togekiss, because it does do super effective damage, even though I think Close Combat also does about like 30 to 40% on a max HP Primal Ogre. And Protect is there so I can get the speed boost and then Mega Evolve. So I can already be at +1 with Mega Blaziken speed. Next up, making its debut this week is our Screamtail. 120 in HP, 232 in special defense, 152 in speed with a timid nature, and 4 in defense. Calm Mind, Substitute, Dazzling Gleam, and Psychic. The goal with this mon is hopefully the Excadrill will be gone by the time I can bring this out, because it is the one mon that I'm scared of. And technically I can be scared of Mega Venusaur too because of the poison move, but I do about half damage with Psychic non-boosted, so I can handle the Venusaur with no problem. But this mon is one of my extra counters to Primal Kyogre, because if I can get a Substitute off and get a couple of Calm Minds up, Primal Kyogre really can't do much to Screamtail. Which, I'm stunned that the Ancient Jigglypuff could potentially be my win con against a Primal Kyogre. And I am hoping that it works, but in all fairness, I am scared of it. I really am. Next up is Chris Lindstrom. This is, I forget where I put this one in for assistance. I apologize to the person if they are watching this video. If you are that person, you can leave your comment in the description below, and then I will help you guys out by giving you the credit you deserve. But this is another assistance for the Primal Kyogre. Assault Vest with 164 in HP, 84 in special defense with an Assault Vest and Careful Nature and max attack. Thunder Punch always will 2-hit KO a Primal Kyogre. It does just under half on a max HP, max defense Rotom. So it does that. But Drain Punch does enough to KO the Rotom afterwards. It's there also for the Excadrill and the Weavile. Ice Punch is there for the Togekiss and the Rhydon if need be. And it kind of does damage on the Mega Venusaur, even though Thick Fat does negate part of that super effective damage. Next up is Zygarde Helper, the Greninja. Choice specs this week with Protean. I'm not going Battle Bond this week just because I don't want to be locked into a move after I use the Choice Specs boost. But Grass Knot with Choice Specs on my Greninja after the Protean boost, it has, if I remember correctly, I looked at the calcs, it's like a 68 or a 75% chance to OHKO a Primal Kyogre from full. And that's insane. And Terra Flying this week is there for the Venusaur to help out with any potential problems that I might have against it. And then Surf and Dark Pulse, standard moves for stab damage. But the 156 in its speed with a timid nature, if I remember correctly, I counted to be just faster than like max speed Adamant Weavile without Ice Shard. So that is what I calc this this Greninja for. Next up, another Assault Vest set this week for our Genesect, Thunderbolt, U-Turn, Zen Headbutt, and Iron Head. Thunderbolt is there for the Primal Kyogre because, again, I'm prepping for this thing more than anything else. That is the one I am more concerned about. And then U-Turn, Zen Headbutt, and Iron Head, just for a little extra power. And if I get the download boost, Iron Head, 2 of those plus a U-Turn always KOs Excadrill. And that is nice to know. Zen Headbutt always 2-hit KOs Venusaur. U-Turn does massive damage on the Azelf and the Weavile. And it also does good damage on the Rotom. Iron Head does super effective damage on the Togekiss and the Rhydon. So it helps out with those. And then finally, Safety Goggles, Hisuian Zoroark this week. Max Special Attack, Max Speed, Timid Nature, Bitter Malice, Sludge Bomb, Psychic, Grass Knot. This month, also guaranteed 2-hit KO on Primal Kyogre with Grass Knot. Psychic is there for the Venusaur. Sludge Bomb there for the Breloom and the Togekiss. And Bitter Malice is there because that move is just so freaking good. Especially against a mon like a Weavile or an Excadrill, who are physical attackers. Or even the Breloom. Or even the Rhydon. So to get that extra power while negating their attack is critical. That is going to be our team, ladies and gentlemen. I am really nervous about this game because, again, this is my first battle against a Primal Kyogre. I'm hoping that I do well. Let's get into the battle, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, guys, we are back for week 4 of the BBL and BB Load Sheen, I should mention. And in all fairness, I did it again. I battled and I didn't record, so I have to do a post-com on this. But in all fairness, last week I tried doing it live and we kind of lost. But the first 2 weeks we did it and I won. So I'm not trying to say I'm superstitious here, but I'm a little superstitious here. So my thought was, let's get into the battle with Edster. You see that he brought his Weavile, his Primal Kyogre, his Excadrill, Rotom, Mega Venusaur, and Typhlosion. So he actually did not bring his Terra Captain this week, which is pretty surprising, to say the least. And yeah, so as you also see, I was, before this battle, for some reason, I don't even know why, I was back in Legends Arceus trying to catch an Enamorus, because I knew that was something I never did in Legends Arceus. I never caught an Enamorus. And I finally caught it. I finally freaking caught that thing. So, done with it. Thank God. Still have, like, I think, like, 10 or 15 more Pokemon to find in that before I even was able to find Arceus. And one of them is Munchlax, and much like in Diamond and Pearl, that mon is as much of a nightmare as battling Cynthia, who, ironically, Edster's profile character is. How about that? But yeah, so we let Excadrill, or he let Excadrill versus our Genesect, and as you see, we got our attack boost, which is really good. So we go for the Iron Head, trying to go for the flinch. It did 44% damage, which is great damage. Great damage on this Excadrill. As he goes for the Earthquake, lowers us down to 16%. We go for another Iron Head, try to get a flinch off. He thinks we're going to switch out here, and he gets his rocks up. So now we have hazards on our side of the field. He's got nothing. But at 13% with the attack boost, like I said in the team builder, U-Turn knocks it out in one shot, and we get a Pokemon in there. We bring in our Blaziken here for Eat More Chicken, get the 12.5% because fighting resists the Stealth Rocks, but fire is weak to it. As he brings in Primal Kyogre and gets the Primordial Sea up, which is absolutely great and makes me scared right off rip. As we switch in Genesect, because we just want to sack it off. And he goes for Thunder Wave, and unfortunately we're paralyzed, gets the Ice Beam off, and we lose. Genesect. Bring in Iron Hands as he switches into Venusaur. We go for Thunder Punch, but this was big. Getting that paralysis was huge for us, because it kind of negates most of Venusaur to an extent. I mean, it was still slow no matter what, but getting that paralysis helps out immensely in trying to get any paras going down the line. So we bring in Blaziken again. It takes 12%, but as you can tell, we already had Blaziken out, and it took damage. So this is actually Zoroark. As it goes for, as the Venusaur Mega Evolves, it goes for Leech Seed. It takes our damage. We go for Psychic, the 47%. Earth Power comes out, breaks our illusion, unfortunately, but such is life. As he goes into Rotom Wash here, we go for Sludge Bomb, and unfortunately, Zoroark goes down to the Leech Seed, so we're down 5-4 as we bring in Scream Tail here. And also, I found this out, that I guess this is like a, let me reset the turn real quick, because I want to mention something that one of my friends mentioned to me in the server. Was, for some reason, it came up as like a glitch on the display that Screamtail had the Leech Seed still up, even though it wasn't Leech Seeded. So that was pretty funny to see in the post-match about it. But we go for our substitute, so that allows us to get away from the Thunder Wave, start setting up Calm Minds, which is exactly what we were trying to do. It takes the damage. He brings out Primal Kyogre again, and we're still behind our substitute. Get another Calm Mind up. Ice Beam comes out. He still can't break the sub, which is great. So we get up to +3 on special attack and special defense, which is phenomenal. Go for another substitute. He clicks Origin Pulse. That does enough to break our substitute, which is unfortunate, but we do 30% on his Primal Kyogre, as he does 25% on his Origin Pulse, does 27%, about the range that I was expecting. I go for another Calm Mind here just to be able to take another one after the damage, and we go for Psychic. He lives on 1 HP, and I honestly did not know this, that apparently Origin Pulse's accuracy is not 100%. I thought it was 100%. As it turns out, it and Precipice Blades were not 100%. So, fortunately, we got lucky. We got very lucky here, but it allowed Screamtail to live and then knock it out with a Dazzling Gleam, which was beautiful. The Primal Kyogre is down. He brings in his Hisuian Typhlosion with Infernal Parade, which is unfortunate. Gets the burn, and unfortunately, we do not knock out the Hisuian Typhlosion, but we go down. But Screamtail did its job, took out the main problem that we were afraid of. As Infernal Parade comes out, and we go for knockoff and reveal that he was Choice Scarf. So he was doing the Typhlosion set that's been going around with Choice Scarf, Eruption, Terra Fire, that is really, really freaking broken. Won't deny that. But we got that off, which was great. As we get our speed boost off, he brings in Rotom Wash. We go for Protect, as he goes for Volt Switch, which makes perfect sense, as we got more of a speed boost up. We go for our Mega Evolution here, get a critical hit on knockoff, and remove the leftovers as we get paralyzed. Now, even with the speed boost and the paralysis, we are still faster than this Rotom Wash. So I go for close combat, and unfortunately, we are paralyzed, which is very, very sad. As he goes for Volt Switch and knocks out our Mega Blaziken, brings in Mega Venusaur, as I bring in Greninja. Now, at first, you're thinking, wait, why are you bringing in a Greninja here? Like, that makes no sense whatsoever. But I go and I Terra Fly, and I go for Terra Blast, and we knock out the Venusaur here, as he goes into Weavile here. And I'm actually both shocked and surprised at what you are about to see here, guys, because apparently Life Orb Ice Shard cannot knock out a Terra-Flying Greninja. Like, I get that Ice Shard as a priority move is base 40 power, but with the Life Orb, Weavile can't knock out a Greninja with a priority move? That's kind of sad. It is very sad. And then, conversely, we can knock out Weavile with Terra Blast, losing 74% of its health. But the Ice Shard comes out, Greninja goes down, it's down to 7%. It is down to our Iron Hands, and he goes for Psycho Cut, gets a 40% drop, but we go for... But the Life Orb recoil takes it down. As he goes for Hydro Pump, we go for a Drain Punch, goes down to 10%. He can't do anything to us. And Drain Punch comes out, and Iron Hands seals our 1-0 victory, which is awesome. We are now 3-1 going into week number 5 of BB Load Sheen. And another win or two, and we probably secure a playoff berth, guys, which is awesome. Now, easier said than done. Very much easier said than done. And the fact that I was able to beat a Primal Kyogre my first time battling one, I am hyped. And if you guys are hyped about it too, that Screamtail is, even in its prehistoric form, the ruler of the seas. Leave a like on this video, comment down below what you thought about Screamtail, and subscribe if you guys are new so we can get to one of our goals of 300 subscribers. I'm going to get out of here for you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys with our next draft battle.